Hello there. I've been really enjoying playing HOI4 using only the historical presets for tanks and planes recently, and I've done it for a few videos now, as the Germans and the Soviets, whom are competent, mostly intelligent militaries. But that all changes now. The Italian army, and government, and navy, and air force, and industry, has a bit of a reputation in World War II, so I wanted to see if the presets added to Italy in the recent DLC were also of a similar level of quality. But to make it a little bit more of a spicy meatball, I'm going to only use accurate, year-appropriate divisional designs alongside the tank and plane presets. Plus, I can finally experience the Navy, something I haven't done yet in this little series. So what do you think? Will I win? Will I be able to reverse the Italian curse? Why not like the video and subscribe and stick around to find out. Alright, here we are with Italy. We've got a decent army, we've got a big focus tree, maybe a bit too big, and we start out fighting in Ethiopia. The goal here is to win within 6 months, so I do need to commit a lot of forces to this. This will be a little hard because our starting templates are not very good. And because I'm using only historical divisions, I have to work based on the research that I've been able to find, and there's very little data for the Italian army before 1940, so I'm gonna basically not change my templates until that point to try to stick to the rules of the challenge. Speaking of which, we should take a look at our first presets available to us, which is our planes. We start with the BA-65, which says it's a cast, but has machine guns on it, so I guess it's kind of both. But if we actually go to the airframe and use the presets like we said we were doing for the challenge, it's different. It only has a bomb lock, so that makes it a proper cast. So we'll build that when we have the XP. And we have the C200, which is a pretty boring fighter, but it does have an engines too, which is kind of interesting. But what's really cursed is the tank. This is the L335, the Italian light tank, or the tankette. They built a lot of these and used them surprisingly late in the war. It's got a light fixed superstructure. It's got just a machine gun. It's very low to the ground. It's very stupid. I hate it. And I was really hoping that maybe the preset would actually be somehow better, because that sometimes happens, but nope, it's pretty much exactly the same. So I'm going to have to use that tank and just suffer. This is what's going to be in pretty much all of my tank divisions. The biggest thing I'm going to have to contend with, though, is going to be the Navy. So far in this historical design series, I haven't even built a single ship. But since I'm going to be contending with old Churchill and a massive navy, I'm going to not only need to build ships, but also build good ships. And I don't even like the World War II navies of this era. I'm more of a sci-fi space age fleet kind of guy. If only this could be like Star Trek Fleet Command, the sponsor of this video. Star Trek Fleet Command is a vast, open-world, free-to-play MMO set in the Star Trek universe, featuring stunning graphics and all of the iconic characters, ships, and rivaling factions that we know and love from watching Star Trek for years on end. Featuring characters from all of Star Trek canon, the game has a thriving community of active and real players from all over the world, battling it out in the Kelvin timeline, allowing for new and interesting stories to organically emerge between players. You can customize your own personal fleet, building mighty ships like the Enterprise and the infamous Klingon Birds of Prey, all while forging your own path to boldly go where no one has gone before. You can try out the game yourself completely free by downloading Star Trek Fleet Command using the link in my description or scanning the QR code on screen now if watching on a PC to receive a special starter pack. Once in game, sign up for a Scopely account, go to StarTrekFleetCommand.com and enter in the promo code WARPSPEED to access your rewards. Thanks again to Scopely and Star Trek Fleet Command for sponsoring this video. Live long and prosper. Now, back to Italy. Right, we're off on a merry adventure to Ethiopia. Let's do the focus that gives us actual railways and ports and start moving some tanks down to the south, plus every bloody plane we can manage. The goal here is to take a number of key towns within Ethiopia very quickly, otherwise we start to get cascading malices. Plus I want to finish the whole thing within 6 months so as to not get any negative effects whatsoever. Right, I'm just doing lots of little pushes with mountaineers, coming from all sides and just grinding them down. It's actually pretty easy, so long as you remember to build railways, something Italy kinda struggled with. I just spent an absolute age trying to grind down Ethiopia, not realizing there was a supply hub sitting right here, unconnected. That would have made it a lot easier. Alright, there we go. That's taken care of. Now we can actually move down our focus tree and start thinking about our internal economy and preparing for the 1940 divisions. Also, it's been so long since I played Italy, I totally forgot about the missions from the Il Duce. He wants me to pacify Ethiopia by getting everything to this insane compliance goal. Mate, I'm not going to be able to do that. At least we do get the unique garrison order Colonial Police, which makes compliance growth in African states surprisingly good. We've also got a bunch of random equipment. Might as well just sell it on the market. I'm sure someone will buy everything, and we need some help setting up our economy. Hey, straight away, Germany and Sweden wants to buy our crap. Thank you. It finally happened. I got some dockyards, so I thought I'll build some 1936 destroyers using presets. That'll be fun, right? Nope, they're both exactly the same. They are unnamed and they are only anti-submarine. They have no use basically in my fleets other than to absorb hits from enemy ships. Okay. Oh god, now this damn Il Duce wants me to strengthen the military and get up to 750,000 men in the field. Dude, it's not the right time. I've been civ greeting. I only just started building mills. Leave me alone. Well, since he wants all these men in the field, I guess it's time to look at our division. Let us make the full 1940 infantry division for Italy. Based on my research, this is what it should look like. These were the so-called binary divisions, so named because they only contained 2 infantry regiments, each with 3 infantry battalions. A pretty small division. It also has an artillery regiment and something called the CCNN Legion. This was basically like a fascist militia. These were kind of like an integrated SS from the German army. They're just gonna have to be regular infantry battalions. Another weird thing is, even though it does say an infantry regiment with 3 battalions, the actual number of artillery guns in the division is so low that 1 artillery battalion is enough. So this is what the division is gonna look like, with some anti-tank support and NG support. It's not great, but it's not terrible either. I also haven't been building any anti-tank, so I should probably get started on that. And since we're here, we might as well plan our tank divisions, but the big problem is that there is very little data out there for what constitutes an Italian tank division before 1941. The only place I can find a reference for 1940 is actually Wikipedia, which states specifically the number of L3 tankettes and a limited amount of the equipment within it. So using that combined with the 1941 template, this is about as close as I think the 1940 to 41 tank division should be. 3 tanks, 2 motorized, 2 freaking cavalry, and a bunch of motorized artillery and anti-air. However, a source I found said specifically that by mid-41, the motorized artillery and anti-air had yet to actually arrive in North Africa, so I'm gonna say that it's just like this, and I will add more motorized artillery as 1941 begins to roll around to represent the fact that they haven't been added to the divisions yet. Also, I'm going to have to wait a long time to be able to replace these crappy light tankettes with proper medium tanks, because apparently there was only 100 medium tanks built by the start of the war, so I'm stuck with these tankettes for a while. Speaking of medium tanks, I do now have the basic chassis, so let's see what presets we have available. It's the M11. Which again is just like a small cannon and once again a fixed superstructure. This is not right. This should be the M13. This was the tank that was beginning to be developed by the beginning of the war. This is a problem because my divisions are going to have to be using this. It's not very good. I also need to contend with the Balkan diplomacy. It's been ages since I even looked at this. I don't want Yugoslavia to become my puppet. I just want to occupy it. I think maybe if I demand Dalmatia and also the throne of Montenegro, maybe they'll not accept and I can fight them? I don't know. Let's find out. We've taken Albania and I have demanded Montenegro as well, and I did not realize, but holy crap, there are a lot of resources in Montenegro. That helps me out massively. Also, I was planning on moving to mobile warfare because Italy starts with Grand Battle Plan, but looking more at the tanks that I have available, I think maybe I should just pretend that tanks are just sort of in the background, and I should stick with the Grand Battle Plan. It's also honestly a pretty good doctrine now. It used to be like the meme doctrine. I think it is very strong now. Alright, it's 1939. The whole fight's about to start. I've got a big army on Yugoslavia, an army on the French border. I've got forces on Africa, on both fronts, in Ethiopia, on Corsica. I am so ready. I don't know what the hell Italy's problem is. I've been able to get loads of divisions out. Now, historically, Italy didn't actually join until a little bit later, until France was really taken care of, but I'm ready. Let's go. There we go. We're pushing into North Africa and also trying to get towards Egypt because the British are not ready. And I've got a little force ready to destroy the tiny little bits of Britain and France in Ethiopia, and then we can use those forces to push out, and we'll be able to dominate all of Africa. I've also got my navy ready. I've just been building the ships that I had already designed because I didn't really have enough time to research any new ships. And you know what? It's going okay. We're actually sinking some British ships. Oh, okay. Okay, now another engagement. We've lost about 10 ships. That's all right. That's all right. It's okay though, because Germany has taken care of France really quickly. I did not help at all. They've just been blitzing, quite literally. Oh, and the British are also already invading me in the Dodecanese Islands. I did get garrisons on them, so they should be okay, but, ooh, they were really quick. We've made it right up to the gates of El Alamein, but then the British tanks have arrived, and, they're starting to push me back. Something tells me my tankette divisions are not very good. Oh, wow. Is this 1943? Britain is invading Sardinia with an actual tank. Thankfully, I have moved infantry over, so I should be able to deal with it, but that was a close one. I lost a tiny bit of Ethiopia to a British push, and that means I lose power in the whole scale between El Duce and the Grand Council, just because a tiny bit of a recently conquered bit of Africa has been taken by the British. My life gets harder. Okay, that's not historical. What? Hungary's just attacked Romania. Please tell me in the comments why this just happened. This is very much ruining my history enjoyment. Deep breaths. I'm sure I can get some historical joy from making the new tank preset that I have with the improved medium tank chassis. Let's see what we get. That's not right. It's an M16. What? Where's the M13? That was the main tank for Italy during World War II. What is this? What? It was a prototype? Only one of them was ever built? What? Why is this the tank preset that's available? And the worst part is I have to build this. I have to use the preset. I can't use the M13 that I got from a Focus. God damn it. It's wrong. It's not historical. I hate it. Oh, and speaking of not as historical, Yugoslavia has submitted. Now I have this gross puppet here. I wanted to fight them and fully occupy them. It would make my borders all pretty. I also can't put these medium tanks into my divisions until 1941 hits, because that's the only time I can find evidence of medium tanks actually being present in divisions. Also, small thing, in previous videos in this series, I've been making sure to use the historical designers, like Daimler-Benz for the Panzer III and stuff, but there is only Fiat for tanks for Italy, so I'm just doing Fiat. Sorry. Oh, okay, I thought North Africa was going okay, but they have invaded behind me. It's fine. This is why you keep reserve infantry divisions ready. We also have the 1940 plane. Let's see what horrors the game has in store for me with the new presets. These are exactly the same designs as the previous airframe. What? In fact, they're worse. They've got a smaller engine. Other than being on the better airframe, it has worse equipment. Why? Did they swap them? Well, I gotta make it. That's just the way it is. Oh, hey, that's cool. A little bit of historicity for the game. I did the utilize film industry thing to get a bit more war support, and it gives a film about Scipio Africanus. That's pretty cool. Yeah, celebrate our history. And build better tanks, please. We have another big problem with our tank divisions, which is that later on I'm going to need to add some self-propelled guns to our divisions, and they are very specifically the Semavante 7518s, and I do actually get one for free from Focuses that I can use, but again, that's from Focuses, not from presets. This means we have to wait until we can get the preset 7518 from the wrong chassis. I also need to get a more advanced bit of artillery tech before I can build this. So this is going to delay me, but it's just what I'm going to have to do. Oh god, the British have naval invaded me again, right behind my lines and on a port. Apparently I didn't add these ports to my garrison orders. Oh god. Alright, it is now 1941 though, and this means I can finally put medium tanks in my divisions. And based on my research, I think this is probably the closest to what they actually used. Way too much motorized artillery, and it still had cavalry in it for some stupid reason. But later on, one of these artillery will actually be replaced with a Semavante 7518 self-propelled gun, but until that point, I'm going to have very low org. Everything's updated now, and as you can see, we are basically out of equipment now. It's terrible, and damn El Duce wants me to take Greece. Come on, dude. We might need to be doing some naval invasions, so I think it's time we do the 1941 Marine Division. And this is what it looks like. Yep, that's it. No actual dedicated Marines, just kind of regular infantry and a bit of support. It also has like a few light tanks, the little tankettes, so I think that's enough for an armored reconnaissance, and specifically MPs. So this is apparently the Marine divisions the Italians used in the war. I just don't understand how they lost. It's crazy. We have actually been encircled in Italy, but we've got more forces to relieve them. It's going to be fine. But as a consolation prize, we can make the Semavante 7518 at long last. It's bad. It's not really got anything. Just fixed superstructure and an improved howitzer. I mean, it's got a lot of soft attack, but it's not very strong. Well, this is what I got. Okay, maybe I was a bit distracted. They have completely encircled me. German forces have arrived to relieve, but it's not enough. They are really coming in strong. Maybe if we push to El Alamein, we can get to Alexandria, maybe? I know what the solution is. I'm going to commit fully to being Italy and start a whole nother war and another front, even though I'm underprepared. So let's attack Greece. My boys are just rushing east to try to get to Alexandria to see if we can maybe retreat from the port. Let's see if it works. At the moment, it's just hell. We've got encirclements in encirclements in encirclements. Everyone keeps getting unencircled every 5 seconds. It's terrible. I think North Africa's lost a bit early, about 2 years too early. But the entirety of my forces are encircled. Oh, this entire army. No, everyone's gonna die. No one's gonna survive. Oh my god, look how many divisions are gonna die. Look at them go. I cannot get over how real and Italian this is. I'm gonna have lost like 2 armies. We've pushed almost all the way into Greece though. We're just stopped outside of Athens, so that's pretty good. There goes all of North African forces. We are now at 1.2 million casualties. I guess I have to completely rebuild my army in preparation for Barbarossa. We've got like 1 army and 8 tanks left. That's it. Oh my god. Germany has just sent me everything I need. Even Panzer IVs for my divisions. Oh my god, thank you, Germany. I love you. And in return for that, I'm going to help them on the Barbarossa front. I'm going to put my units on the, I was going to say Romania, but it's not. It's Hungary border. And also my tanks as well in open spaces. And we're just going to help with the general push. I think the mindset is I need to not be the main character. I am supporting Germany. That's all I'm doing. Oh god, here's the real main character. The US has joined. Oh no. I'm just trying to do my best to push in through open ground with my limited tanks and just use my infantry for pushes. I got Grand Battle Plan, so it does help. Also, I'm now finally going to add the self-propelled gun to my tank divisions because it's time. We do need to have that. This whole thing is going really, really well. We've taken Kiev. We're pushing into Crimea. And I would like to take the credit, but it's mostly Germany. Germany's divisions are actually not too bad. I do have like 800 planes helping as well, but still. It is already winter, but we're still pushing. We've actually managed to reach the Caucasus. I think I need to actually be just sending my tanks and infantry anytime there's a little gap where the Germans don't have the ability to send units there, like in the Caucasus. So I'm going to go there and just see if we can push, open up a second front. I have lost so many men, I have to go to service by requirements so early in the conflict. I'm just trying to recruit new divisions to replace everything I've lost, because I still need some divisions for the D-Day wall, and also to defend Italy in case we get invaded. Also, it's now finally 1942, so we can improve our tank divisions to the 1942 model, which I have 2 different sources for, though one of them is a weird Wikipedia one that seems to have simplified everything down. The key thing I'm noticing is just how much self-propelled artillery there is here. And also the fact that one of them is actually a 90mm rather than the 75-18. But then the Wikipedia one, it doesn't mention it whatsoever. So I guess I'll add the 9052s later on when I have enough of them. And for now, I'll keep it to a sort of split the difference version. And I think this is what it's going to look like. The cavalry's finally gone. It's got 2 SPG battalions and also motorized artillery battalions. This is a bit of a better division, but its organization is still really low. It just does not have enough motorized infantry. I'm now getting to the point when fighting the Soviets where supply hubs are few and far between. So anywhere I put my tanks, I just drink up all of the fuel and supply. So I think I'll move them out and then move them back in again when relevant. Again, I gotta remember, I'm supporting Germany here. I'm not the main character. In fact, why not? Let's send some of our spare equipment to Germany. I've captured a whole ton I'm not going to use. Let's give them a bunch of, crappy rifles and all kinds of stuff. They deserve it. The 42 Spring Offensive is here, so why not celebrate by making the final division, the 1942 Alpalni Division. It's mountains. They're mountaineers. It's not a giant improvement, but, it's better than just 6 battalions of mountains. Once again, it's 2 divisions, each with 3 battalions, but there's a lot more support stuff. There's field hospitals, and it also has dedicated artillery. Meaning I can put, I think, what equivalates to 2 artillery battalions. I should mention that there actually is one more upgrade we could do, which is the 1942 Infantry Division. However, it is only used in North Africa in the late period of 42, having then quickly been scrapped later on. These divisions never actually saw action on the Eastern Front, so it doesn't really make sense to create them, especially because this is what they look like. A lot more artillery and anti-air than you might expect, and they no longer have the CCNN battalions, the fascist militia, instead having only 6 battalions of infantry, meaning this is what they look like in game, and they're pretty bad. Only 42 org, not worth it, and I'm not going to make them because, again, these were disbanded very quickly. So I'm going to keep using the kind of lame divisions on the Eastern Front, if only because otherwise I think I'd probably lose the game. All right, the pushes are continuing. We are about where we were historically. I was kind of hoping we'd be a little bit further along, but it's okay. It's mainly supply that's the problem. Oh god. Okay, this is why we kept reserve forces in Italy. Britain has landed, but not on a port, so it's fine. I'm just going to knock them out, and it's fine. Got the new heavy tank chassis, and it still doesn't give me the correct 9053. I do have a template for my focuses, but again, I have to use the presets, and I keep hoping that a chassis will give it to me, but nope, it wasn't a heavy one. Oh, and we also have a motorized division we haven't made. Let's make a motorized division. Yeah! It's actually kind of a simple design, if a bit small. 2 regiments of motorized infantry and 1 regiment of motorized artillery, alongside support anti-air, anti-tank, and a couple other things, including MPs for some reason. It's a perfectly fine division, if, a bit small. We're going to, of course, do the smart thing and name it after our most recent patron. So welcome to the Leldy Division. It's got a nice ring to it. Oh god, and I'm going to need those Leldys because Vichy France has been attacked, which means that there are going to be a lot more naval invasions soon. I need to be protecting some ports. Oh god, loyal viewers will remember this. I have been stopped once more outside the gates of Moscow by the river. I was thinking I could really quickly push it, but no. Once again, my crappy tank divisions are just not good enough, and the supply is just poor enough that I cannot breach it. Oh, all for my complaining, I put it on battle plan, and my tanks have actually breached it. They managed to go around the back of Moscow, and we did it. Finally. It's still nowhere near close to being defeated, but still, good progress. It also has caused a very ugly salient, so I gotta be careful. I'm gonna ask for Moscow and the surrounding areas from Germany, and I'm gonna see if I can just up the infrastructure, because Germany is not building railways. Alright, we're nicely halted now, and I should mention, it is 1943, and I'm done with designing new division templates. There are no more historical documents that I can find evidencing new Italian division organizations, and that's just because something funky happened to Italy in 1943, and there is very little data that I can find that actually lays out what a division is. So I'm just going to keep using my 42 templates and just sort of suffer. Oh, speaking of suffering, I don't remember this happening. All of North Africa just instantly flipped to France. Does this always happen? Every single unit that I've sent to North Africa has now been encircled and is going to die. How have I managed to lose the entire North Africa Corps twice? This is too real. One small consolation though, but Stalingrad is taken, and it wasn't even me. Germany actually took Stalingrad. I had infantry around them to help, but they did it without me. My guys were resting. The Italian forces actually didn't do anything at Stalingrad except fail, and the Germans did everything. Wow, where's this familiar? It is also D-Day time, but it's a surprisingly small D-Day, so I'm just going to reallocate the forces I've kept in Europe to try to throw them off the beaches. My main role, it seems, on the Eastern Front is being air controller. I mean, I don't get Germany's planes or anything, but I'm just using my planes to sort of chaperone all the forces, and it's going okay. Russia basically lost their entire air force in the last couple of years, so I'm just trying to gain air dominance wherever I can. Also, I should mention, I completely forgot about being able to form Greater Italy by going through the focuses. I've just been so distracted with, like, divisions and the presets and the whole losing my entire North Africa Corps twice that I didn't even remember. And now I can't do it because I lost North Africa. Oh well. This is a really fun way to play HOI. I'm really surprised. I thought I would be a little bit bored being, like, second fiddle to Germany, but it's so fun to just sort of have this elite corps pushing wherever the line is thin. Around Leningrad right now, it is super thin, so I've just sent my armies over there, and we're gonna take it, because the German army is a bit too overpressed. And honestly, with that, it's only a matter of time, just taking VPs and pushing here and there. Supply is the biggest problem, but little small pushes with my tanks are doing most of the work. Okay, well I say that, it is now January 1944, it's been several months, and we've barely made any progress. The winter just slowed us to a halt, and even though I've got a collab government on the Soviet Union, it doesn't seem to matter, I just can't get them to capitulate. Oh, there's a brief little incursion into Greece. The Allies have invaded in the Peloponnese, but I'm still holding on. Oh, and it's D-Day 2 Electric Boogaloo. They have landed and took back the coastal bits of the Netherlands, but I've got units right there. And the German D-Day wall is obscene. Like, there are hundreds of divisions here, including tanks. This is crazy. How is Germany doing so good? We have just unlocked the newest medium tank chassis. Let's see what it gives us. We can build a new M16, but of course that came from the focuses, so we will only use the presets, and it is the M20. I have literally no idea what this tank is. Alright, screw it. I guess we'll build it. Let's go. I mean, it's not very good, but what are you gonna do? All right, the Soviets are finally starting to fall back. Their poor supply is just as bad as ours. It's just targeted pushes and endless attrition. Another thrown back D-Day, just no big deal. And we do get a new heavy tank chassis, and we can make a very cool P-43 tank. Very cool. This was kind of like halfway between a heavy and medium tank, and there was only like one prototype made, and obviously production never started for this because Italy had some fun times in the mid-1943. I'm probably not going to build this though because the divisions don't have heavy tanks in them. I just thought it was cool. On the Eastern Front, we have finally taken Kazan, which I think is going to be everything we need. We've got a little bit of an encirclement, we've got supply, taking a little bit more territory here and there and waiting a few months, and then my whole computer freezes. And you know what that means? It means my crappy CPU can't handle the peace conference. Look at that. We did it. We won. We helped Germany beat the Soviets. The borders are very much bad. I don't like this at all. The Germans fought me every step of the way. And also, for some reason, they liberated a fascist Russia, whom has then immediately joined the Allies, but I'm just gonna forget about that. I'm gonna say we did it, using only historical divisions and presets only, and using ones from 1941 and 42. That's even cooler. We helped out Germany, and we didn't instantly capitulate and fall apart into a civil war. Yes, true, we lost North Africa completely, twice, and barely gained any territory, but it doesn't matter, we helped. Thank you very much for watching. This has been a lot of fun. It took a really long time to make. I have more of these historical division videos coming out ideally every single week on Friday at 5 p.m. Definitely do give the video a like and comment down below any suggestions you have for other countries you think would be good to play using only historical divisions. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to use my Star Trek Fleet Command link in the description or scan the QR code to get a special starter pack to help you out. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.